Shalom, familia. So today let's dive deeper into discipline, right? This is something that I personally struggle with. I am a very flowy person. I likes to flow. And for me, for sure, the tikkun, the correction, the challenge, the lessons, it's been discipline. And as I dive deeper into the ancient scriptures and sages, they mention that discipline is the path of devotional freedom. And when I go deeper into discipline in Proverbs, in the book of Solomon, that in Hebrew is Tehillim, he mentioned from the 10th to the 20th, all of those verses are to develop Musar. Musar, the translation, is discipline. Yet it's not the discipline that we may think. It's the devotional discipline of self-realization to walk the path of the righteousness, the right path of life, walking with God, walking with Hashem, becoming the Elohims into the light. So in this process, I just want to define that the word discipline comes from the Greek discipulus, that is related with disciples, from Yeshua, pupils, students. So discipline is not being a harsh, strict thing to obey. However, if you look it and search it on Google, you will find that it says rules to obey. But if we go deeper in the meaning, the one that we are obeying is the law of life, the structure of life. To gain discipline is to get a cultivation of awareness and self-control in a way that you dictate what energy you let in your temple. The cultivation of the devotional path. If you're hearing this or watching this, it's because you have a spiritual journey and you're cultivating your practices. You are cultivating a new ideal, a remembrance that creates a path of devotion, of exploration, of remembrance. And that's the path of discipline. And in the path of discipline is the development of will, cultivating the inner fire of will and presence. Because in our design, in human design, and it's not like the human designs that is right now going out, but the original Adam design, for that to say, the human design, we came here as the reflection of Elohim. In the Genesis 1 mentions that Elohim's, Bereshit bara Elohim, in the beginning, space, because in Hebrew there's an space, source, create Elohims, and Elohims create the human in their image, meaning that Elohim is the contraction of duality, because I start with number 2. This, what I'm sharing this, it's if we dive deeper in the wisdom of Solomon in Proverbs from 10 to the 24th, we will see that these verses from Tehillim, he focused on Musar, devotional discipline of the self-realization, the cultivation of boundaries of what is in the light and what is not, what is in reactivity and what is not. All of these things, it's the real discipline. It's the discipline for you to have the awareness to choose what and how to act, what thoughts to filter out, and what thoughts to listen, through a process of cleansing, a process of discipline, of actions that will help you to cultivate your self-realization. And that can be waking up as a training every morning, or praying, or doing your practices, or doing the things that brings you light. Okay? That's the path of discipline. Start cutting off the layers of the path, of the illusions, of the shelf that we create, and start purifying the vessel. Once we start purifying the vessel, that's where we find discipline. And I want to start here in Proverbs 10. The first verse that Solomon mentioned is, a wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish son brings grief to his mother. And this is something that I personally was diving into it. On this spiritual process and also in normal life, we tap into victimism. We tap into the cycle of guilt and shame, wishing to be more disciplined in life, however, doing nothing to make it happen. And in the verse 4, it says, lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. What is diligent hands? The meaning of diligent is to focus in consistency in something and do one work at the time. Diligence doesn't mean to do thousands of things at the same time, but just one thing, do it right. And that brings wealth because you are becoming a channel of your assignment, revealing the light, revealing the purpose. So, as it mentions here, lazy hands make poverty. It's easy on this process, and I personally deal with this. In the past, I used to just pray and doing nothing, thinking that the manna was going to come from the heavens, right? As the scriptures. I was planning the metaphysics. I was in my space of working my alignment, but nothing manifests more than the lack. The lack was keep going. So once I dived deeper into this knowledge, I understood something. That we are here to be the channels of that diligence, of that light. It's through our actions that we manifest the light and the miracles. It's through our vessel, our temple, how we manifest those miracles. So it's require action. It's require steps. And it says, like God says to Joshua, I'm going to be with you, supporting yourself and the Israel people. But you are the one that needs to take the first step and the second step, and I will be with you. But come on, you need to stand, and if you fall, you stand. If you need help, you will have my hand. However, there's two types of hands. The sure hand or the hand that really asks. It's easy to elevate the prayer and just say, God help me, but you're not really doing your best, giving your best to receive that help. Knowing that you're doing your 100% and leaving God do the rest of it. We're just like false prophet, and it happened to me, including myself, where we think that just by bringing the knowledge, bringing the resolutions, we're gonna bring that connection with the real light. But it was until I entered in discipline, taking responsibility of my actions every day. And once you start doing that, you start bringing forth more. And he mentioned here in Proverbs 9, whoever walks in integrity walks confident and securely, but whoever takes crooked path will be found out. So if we walk in integrity, confident, you know what? Discipline don't need to be hard. Discipline is my path of devotion. Meaning, what are the things that brings me more light and joy? That brings me peace. For me, is my practices. For me, is my readings, my prayers. In the morning, I start waking up, watching the sun gazing, my rituals, my practice, my Jedi practice, Kabbalistic practice, Sadic practice, like what fills me with joy. For you, what is it? Maybe it's running, exercising, connecting with nature. What is the light that is waiting for you to be revealed when you act upon it? What is the wealth waiting for you once you are ready to take it in? So in the path of discipline, here it's where we dictate how we want to live our life. Discipline should not be imposed, it should be cultivated. True love. Because it comes from a place of I am. My inner must want to do this. I want to devote myself. I'm going to push myself, encourage myself to do these things that may be uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it because of, when the people are doing a detox or a diet, that they feel motivated of doing it. That's the discipline that we want. The ones that come from within, not impose it, but the ones that keep you. But the question is, how we find that motivation, right? Why it's hard to see the motivation sometimes in life? And this is a question that I asked for a long time. The answer that I found for myself, it's that we must, instead of should, we must focus in the things that bring us joy. The more we cultivate the light, and we see the light in everything, even in the hardships. If we have that awareness that we can bring light and not judgment, that's the part of discipline. Which thoughts I am allowing myself to see and listen. That's discipline. You create your boundary, your point of focus. These thoughts are not me. That's my discipline, my devotional love. When we start doing that and when we start asking those questions, the light starts revealing. You start feeling the motivation to dive deeper. It may get some times of intensity. However, as the Psalm 23, when David mentioned here, even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will not fear, for you are with me. God is with us all the time. Creator is with us all the time, even in the tense time. It's just up to us how we can reveal that light, how we can manifest that light, how we can bring the joy into that situation. Find the boost to see the self-realization and the revelation. So we become revelations, living revelations. Hope that this video served you. Let's dive deeper in the path of discipline. And I have some news. We're gonna open, as the Living School is opening, we're gonna start our initiations of the Jedi Path, the Sadic path that, let's say that the Jedis, we take it from Star Wars. However, this exists. The director of Star Wars, I think it's George Lucas, he took this knowledge from ancient Egypt. The Jedis were highest priests, the wisdom keepers, the life force keepers, the ones that hold the space of the light. So we're going to start this initiation from Kabbalah, Egypt practices, and more than anything, understanding the energies of the force, of the light, the revelation of God, the magic, practical magic, to understand the Sephir of the tree of life, to understand the deeper psyches of ourselves, the senses, the magic, the force, for that to say. So we're gonna open. We're gonna wait for these 2 weeks, the Vein Hamed Sarim, to pass, and then we're gonna open the space. Okay. Follow us. Many blessings. Shalom, shalom. May the peace be with you. Let's walk the path of the righteousness. Okay.